All right, we'll move to agenda item 17, purchase of ESO fire records management software. And this will be presented this evening by our fire chief, Chief Alexander. Chief, you have the floor.
Mayor, council members, tonight I'm here requesting authorization to enter into a 60-month advance payment contract with ESO fire records management software. Next slide. Yuba City Fire Department's current records management software is called Firehouse, which we've had for numerous years. However, it was recently purchased by ESO last year. In October, we were formally notified by ESO that Firehouse will sunset on December 31st, and that Firehouse software installed on local servers will no longer receive customer service or support in 2023. Next slide. How RMS works in the overall grand scheme of how a call comes in. So individual will receive a call from 911 that comes in. Portion of that goes to our computer aided dispatch center, also known as CAD. We love acronyms in the fire service, so you're going to hear a whole bunch of acronyms throughout this presentation, while the caller also talks with the dispatcher. Dispatcher receives information from CAD, but they also input some CAD information. That information that can be fed to our MDT, another acronym, or mobile data terminal on the engine, but then it also feeds information from the dispatcher via voice to the station or to the apparatus. At the conclusion of the call, all that information that was gathered goes through an interface into our records management system, also known as RMS. Next slide. RMS is basically a collection of software designed to perform data collection services. It meets all the legal requirements for documented inspections, activities, and incidents themselves. You're talking to an individual, next slide, that thinks that nothing is more important than the turnouts or the apparatus that you need to get to an incident. However, the reality is RMS is just as significant as that as moving forward. Some of the components of the RMS that are so vital is it puts a timestamp on all your apparatus, timestamps your personnel. It handles all your patient care reports that we use on EMS incidents. It handles all the incident action narratives, our fire investigations, our inspections, our daily logs, and our schedule. And why that is important is another acronym, NFIRS, is our National Fire Incident Reporting System. All that information needs to be pushed over and sent to NFIRS every year. It handles all of our legal documents that we might have to get pulled when there's a request for records. Additionally, statistical analysis. So everything that you see from our annual reports that's pulled, that comes from our RMS software. SSV is our reporting requirements, and that handles all of our EMS providers information, and then all of our criminal investigations. Next slide. So ESO, as I mentioned, purchased Firehouse. Due to the specific nature of records management software, there's limited in availability that's out there. Another common provider of records management software is ERS, another acronym, which is Emergency Reporting System. ESO also purchased ERS. There's various benefits to going to ESO. One of those being is the migration of data that's already currently in Firehouse. Since ESO owns Firehouse now, that migration of data is so important that should go across much smoother. Next slide. Another advantage is that when you implement a new records management system, it is a heavy lift, and it takes a significant learning curve for a lot of personnel. As a result, it's a major commitment to a fire department, and it's not something that you change at the spur of the moment. It's a long-term investment with your personnel. As a result of going with ESO, there are some discounts that we can receive by going into a much longer-term discount contract. We do have one term and one time and reoccurring fees associated with that. And so you have on this screen a 12-month contract, and the discounts are shown, and then a 60-month contract, and those identified. Next slide. Our recommendation is to go with a 60-month contract at just a little over $152,000. Other options that are available are to go with a supplemental appropriation for a 12-month contract, or the final option is do not authorize a purchase for ESO Fire EMS. Are there any questions?
Thank you, Chief. Is there any questions from the council?
Mr. Mayor, if I may.
Sir.
Chief, if we can go back one slide, maybe Sierra. On the 12-month through 60-month through one-time fee is the same. Is that, on the 60-month, is it annually, or are we saving 4 times $12.85?
So those reoccurring fees are the annual component. So those one-time fees are just that big push to move all that data over. That bigger decrease in discount was for some of that reoccurring fees that go along with that. We will receive a credit from Firehouse as we move forward. However, I do not have a specific amount on that because they will not give us a number until we make the full transition over on that deadline. Because this will be a lengthy period to migrate all that data over and to make that full switch.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions?
Yeah, through the mayor. Chief, do other regional or neighboring jurisdictions, do they use this same software?
So ERS is another one that's used pretty often. ESO is going to be a relatively new one for everybody that's going into this system. When we first found out that ESO was purchasing Firehouse, that was one of the first initial things is going to ERS, which is what Marysville utilizes, and that was what our hope was. Well, with them purchasing ERS, they've also notified all their providers that ERS will also be sunsetting in a short amount of time. So you see a large push of individuals from Firehouse and ERS trying to come up with the third viable option of either going with ESO or looking at a third provider. So there's a lot of fire agencies that are in the same situation we are right now.
I know you're probably aware of some of the emerging discussions on consolidated dispatch and records management that's going on regionally. Is Sutter County using an RMS for their fire at this point?
I believe that they are. I believe that they were, I'm speculating. I remember some discussions about what they were going to, but I'm not 100% certain of which path that they chose. But I'm pretty confident they are using an RMS.
Thank you.
Okay. Any other questions from the council? Vice Mayor? All righty. Then I will open it up to see if there's any comments from the public. Any comments from the public? Any online?
No public comment.
All right, then we'll bring it back to the council for action.
Mr. Mayor?
Sir.
I'd like to make a motion to adopt a resolution authorizing the sole source purchase of ESO fire records management software and enter into a 60-month advance payment term in the amount of $152,027.25, and also authorize finance director to use funds from the American Rescue Plan Act account 256069201 in the amount of $152,027.25.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. The ayes have it. Chief, you'll get your transition to the new software, sir. Thank you for being here tonight.
Thank you.